With your Tyler's back with another edition of Wrestling's Dumpsterfires, and I hadn't talked about this one at all yet, so I guess we're gonna have to talk about this. Sting Abyss feud from 2006 to 2007 in TNA, and it's kind of this feud could have been better, really. So, by the way, tomorrow will be the Fallout Showdown after Night of Glory. And then Thursday, my second channel subscribe clarification on that one, so you will see the last WrestleMania review we hadn't talked about yet, WrestleMania 16. Yeah, I know it wasn't. It was called They had to say 2000, but it's WrestleMania 16. Fuck it. Um. And almost there to WrestleMania 41, so there's that. But so how did this whole thing? You think on paper Sting and Abyss will be a great feud because Sting does well with bigger guys. Vader is one example in WCW, but well, we'll get to that. So Battle for Glory 2006, Sting defeated Jeff Jarrett to win the world title, and that was the end of Jeff Jarrett's what's that word I'm trying to say? Stranglehold of the world title from 02 to 06. And then some point later, Abyss won a Fight for the Right tournament. Yeah. The TNA has some weird ass gimmick matches. So there's that. And also, speaking of Abyss, I said this before, but Abyss in WWE2K25's DLC section, that's fucking crazy to see Abyss in a WWE game. I mean, he was in the TNA game in 2008, but still crazy to see Abyss in a WWE game. But that's not. But I already mentioned that like a few times. I mean, him and New Jack in a WWE game, I never thought I was ever gonna see that. But anyways, Abyss won that tournament to get a shot at the world title at Genesis in November. Yeah, the same Genesis where Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe had their match and main event of that show. This match was in the semi-main spot. Abyss won by the way, the first part of the match was great, but then things went downhill quickly in that match. And mostly it ends in a disqualification where normally in title matches the champion gets disqualified and keeps the belt, but the rare NWA rule, Sting lost the belt by fucking disqualification. And that's how Abyss won the title. And it was so bad that they had to put Christian in that spot at the following pay-per-view turning point where Abyss surprisingly retained the title, but his reign ended the following pay-per-view at Final Resolution. But before we get to that, Sting said that Abyss in storyline that he shot his father, which we all found out that it was James Mitchell, the manager of Abyss at this point. And then Final Resolution happened. I mean, they did this weird stuff in the prison, and it was just fucking weird. But we'll get to the weirder parts of this whole thing. But at Final Resolution in 2007, they did another triple threat match for the world title. It was elimination rules this time around. And Abyss's title run ended when he was the first man out, but he helped Christian to retain or regain the world title. But this feud kept on going. They had three more pay-per-view matches, by the way. One of them is the prison yard match at Against the Laws, which it was their better one out of the three one-on-one pay-per-view matches they had. I mean, Sting won, and then Abyss. Oh wait, we're not there yet. But Yeah, Sting won the prison yard match. And no, they did not fight in a literal prison yard. It was the way you win it is you put your opponent in the penalty box from the King of Mountain matches. Why? But anyways. Then they had the infamous Last Rites match at Destination X. Well, yeah, that match is infamous for the Fire Russo chants. And then Abyss saw the light, but not really in a tag match because James Mitchell brought him back to the dark side. That led to basically the culmination of this feud at Lockdown, in the Lethal Lockdown match, where Abyss and Sting were on opposite teams in that match. That match was Sting won for the team at Lockdown, and that was basically the end of this whole feud between Abyss and Sting. There's one part I had to say about this. There was no fucking Human Torch. I might do that one next. The Vampiro Sting feud in WCW. But yeah, I mean, this whole thing was not great. I mean, it could have been better, but it didn't. Abyss became a babyface after this. He will not turn heel again until 2010. And there. So, Showdown episode 70. I believe it's 74, but I don't fucking know now. That's the Fallout show from Night of Glory, like I said before. And again, on my secondary channel, Talos Rich Reviews, so you'll see in 2 days. Subscribe to the notification on that one, so you'll see WrestleMania 16, the last WrestleMania I didn't talk about yet, and then live review of SmackDown and Mania. So there, bye bye. And also like this video, comment below, and subscribe to this channel also. So there's that. Goodbye.